Good day, CSS and AS student. Since we're having our distance learning, I prepared here a pre-recorded lesson since we weren't able to have our face-to-face class. So just stay back there, watch the video, and learn something today. So this topic will be to identify the parameter to be tested given a real-life problem and formulate the appropriate null and alternative hypothesis on a population mean. So now class, let's have a review activity since we already done answering this one last week. So number one, the blank in a set of data is the sum of the values divided by the total number of values. This is letter A, mean. The measurement that shows data are spread above and below the mean is the blank. This is letter D, the standard deviation. Number three, mean, median, and mode are examples of measures of central tendency. Letter D. Now, number four, mother gives me at most 150 allowance and in a week. So since it is the word at most, so its symbol it's letter B, the less than or equal to 150. Now number five, Larry is an industrious appliance salesman. His average sales and in a week is at least 15,000. Since it is the word at least, its symbol must be greater than or equal to. So that is letter A. N is greater than or less than to 15,000. Okay, let's proceed to our lesson proper. So we have here parameter statistics. So this one we already actually discussed it to our third quarter week, right? So when we say parameter, it is the numerical quantity that characterizes a given population or some of its aspect. So already need to remember pag parameter siya, it is numerical characterize a given population. So, parameter for population. So when we say statistic, it is the numerical measurement that is calculated from the sample. So it is the numerical, or it is the quantity that is being calculated from the sample. So since statistics start with letter S, it also talks about the sample which starts with letter S. Population for parameter, sample for statistics. So a parameter denotes a true value that would be obtained if a census rather than a sample was undertaken. When we say census, it is the complete statement of population. So we have here examples of parameters or the measures of central tendency. Like for example, the mean, median, and mode. Now, the two parameters that can characterize a distribution or commonly used, no, we have here the mean and standard deviation. Again, the two parameter that commonly used to characterize a distribution, we have the mean and standard deviation. Okay, now let's talk on to this table, which is very important, no, that we discuss. So when we say mean in statistics, that is what we call the X bar. So this is how it is being stated or symbolized. Pag sinabing nating mean sa parameter, that is what we call the mu. Again, it is called the mu or the population mean. When we say variance in statistics, that is the symbol S squared. S squared. In parameter, it is what we called the sigma. This is sigma squared. Now, in standard deviation, we have here in statistic the S symbol, and parameter we have here the sigma. Okay, and proportion in statistics we have here what we call the p hat. This is how it pronounced, the p hat. In parameter we have here the symbol p. Okay, now to identify the parameter to be tested, number one, of course, we just need to look for the mean or the average, standard deviation, variance, and proportion of population. So, dili sa sample, kundi sa population. Next one is to determine the value that pertains to the given parameter, then translate them in symbol for hypothesis testing. So, again, the first one is to look for the mean, standard deviation, variance, proportion of population. Then next one is to identify its value, kung pila siya yung amount or pila siya na classify. Then we going to translate them in symbol. So symbol of parameter is we're going to use the mu, the sigma square, sigma, and the symbol p. Since this is to identify parameter to be tested. Sabtan. Next, now let's have here an examples. So number one, the average height of a senior high school student 17 years and older is 152 centimeter for female. So again, The first step is to identify the parameter or just look for the average, variance, standard deviation, or proportion. So since we have here the average, that will be our parameter. The average height of a senior high school female student is 152 centimeter. Now in symbol, let's highlight this average. Okay, the average in parameter, it is symbolized as what? The mu. Mu symbol. Now, what is the keyword of this parameter? The word is. This is our key. Let me type this one. Keyword. Now, what is the symbol of is? It is the equal symbol. And the amount, it's 152 centimeter or 152. So, inanaon lang nato siya pag state. Again, look for the average, standard deviation, variance, and proportion sa population. Then, we're going to symbolize the following. Now, example number 2. A grade 11 researcher reported that the average allowance of senior high school student is 100. A sample of 40 students has a mean allowance of 110. At the level of significant, or the alpha, is equal to 0.01 test. It was the claim that the students had allowance of 100. The standard deviation of population is 45. Since daghan man siya og claim, we need to remember unsa ang gina-measure sa problem, which is the average allowance of a senior high school student, which is 100 pesos. So that is our parameter. Again, the average allowance of senior high school student is 100. Now, let's focus to the word average. So, in parameter, it is symbolized as the mu. Now, the keyword here, it's still the word is. And is the symbol of equal sign, and our amount, it's 100. So inana lang siya pag state or pag identify what parameter to be tested. Again, first thing to do, to look for the average, variance, standard deviation, proportion of population. Then after that one, we need to find the keyword first and its symbol, then iyahang amount or sa iyahang nakalabel. So very simple lang. Nasabtan? Klaro? If klaro, let's have another example. Okay, now let's talk another scenario. Number 3, according to a survey, 60% of the parents are willing to spend extra money for their children's health and education matter. So our parameter here, we have the percentage or the proportion. Pag makakita kay kag percentage problem, that is also what we call the proportion. Okay? Of parents willing to spend extra money in their children's health and education matters is 60%. So, in parameter, the percentage or proportion is symbolized as what? The symbol letter P. Now, our keyword here is the word is. Okay? Is symbolized as the equal sign. Now, the 60% here, we're going to convert it into decimal, which is 0.60. Again, our 60%, i-convert natin siya sa decimal point. Iusa na to siya pag-convert, miss. Okay. So, ang 60% or simply 60, we have your 60, no? 60. Start na dari nakuan. Then, mag-move ta 2 places to the left. Okay. 1, 2, point, then, put 0 dari lang. This is how we convert percent to decimal point. Pag decimal to percent naman, from the left, pag-move ka 2 places to the right. Ana lang. So, ang parameter, proportion, in symbol, we have P. The keyword is, and yung amount is 60%, or in decimal point, we have 0.60. Now, let's talk another topic to formulate the appropriate null and alternative hypothesis on a population mean. So, ang statistical hypothesis, mo na siya ang imong statement or imong description with regards to your parameter and deals with evaluating unsa ang value ni parameter. So, we already know the two types of hypothesis we have here, the null and alternative hypothesis. So, si null, it is denoted as the H sub O, kani siya. Ang alternative, we have H sub A, or H sub 1. So, ang null hypothesis, wala ni siya difference, wala ay relationship between sa parameter, siya no difference na siya. And iyahang independent variable is wala siya effect sa iyahang dependent variable. So, ang null hypothesis is usually your initial claim or muna imong first assumption or first critic nimo sa isa ka butang. So, ang alternative hypothesis naman is ang kabaliktaran ni null. So, kung si null wala siya kalahian, ang dari is naa siya significant na difference between two parameter and its value, hypothesized value. So, dari is na siya effect, ang independent niya na effect sa iyang dependent variable. So, the alternative hypothesis is what you might believe to be true or hope to prove true na siya. So, ikaw, imong alternative hypothesis, muna imong contradiction to your null hypothesis. Now, let's talk on to the fourth step in stating the null and alternative hypothesis correctly. Number 1, i-identify sa nato ang parameter sa problem. Number 2, identify nato kung asa siya na claim sa null or sa alternative ba na siya. Number 3, ato siyang i-translate into mathematical symbol or notation. And number 4, i-formulate sa nato una ang null before ta sa alternative based on the 3 different way in writing hypothesis as illustrated below. Now, pag kuan gani siya, pag ang null hypothesis nato is equal sa alternative not equal symbol iya ha. Now, pag ang sa kuan sa null hypothesis diri less than or equal siya, atong null hypothesis must be greater than. Now, pag dari naman, pag atong null hypothesis is greater than or equal, ato ang null alternative hypothesis is less than. So, we have here hypothesis testing common phrase, the equal, not equal, greater than, less than, greater than or equal, and less than or equal to. So, mo siya ang atong kailangan i-familiarize na mga common phrases. So, we have here example number 1. So, this is an example sa itong identify parameter to be tested. So, we already have our parameter. Of course, the average height of senior high school student is 150 cm. So in symbol, that is the mu is equal to 152 cm. So based on the symbol, we can actually identify already unsa siya na hypothesis. Since it is an equal symbol, it means it is a null hypothesis. Kung inward siya, we have here the H sub O ni siya is equal to the height. The average height of senior high school female student is 152 cm. So this is our claim. Muna tong second step. Now, in third step, of course, we need to symbolize. And fourth step na to is to unahon ang null hypothesis. So, ang average na to, it's symbolized as the mu. The is keyword, it's symbolized as equal. Then, ang amount na to is 152. Now, ang null hypothesis na to is kabaliktaran sa ato ang alternative hypothesis. Kung is dere, sa tong alternative hypothesis, mahimo siya og is not. Okay? So, from the word average, of course, in parameter, it is the mu. Since it's not, it is the symbol or the sign of not equal sign. And its amount, it's 152. Ano na siya? Now, number 2, the average price per square meter of residential lot in an exclusive subdivision is at most 12,000. A buyer wants to test the agent's claim. So, our parameter here is the average, no? The average price, which is at most 12,000. So, in symbol, since it's average, it's the mu symbol. And it's at most man, so it's symbolized as the less than or equal to the amount of 12,000. So from the symbol already, we can actually identify that our claim is on what? The null hypothesis. So in symbol class, so H sub O, tutuldok na siya dapat dari tutuldok. So our mu is less than or equal to 12,000, or simply pwede ra our mu is equal to 12,000 and we label it as the claim. Now, ang kabaliktaran sa less than or equal in alternative hypothesis, it is the greater than. Mu is greater than 12,000. Nana lang. Okay, now let's talk about one-tailed and two-tailed test. Since na-discuss naman ako ni last time, so I know na may ideas on si one-tailed and two-tailed. Ito lang siyang i-review. So, pag one-tailed, ganit siya na siya symbol na greater than or less than. So, it's directional kay it's either man siya right or left-tailed. So, pag two-tailed, ay ang alternative hypothesis dapat it's not equal symbol and it has no direction. So, because kuan siya, nasa sa right o nasa sa left tailed. So, ang pag-determine og one-tailed siya or two-tailed, mag-focus ta sa alternative hypothesis. Okay? Again, pag iyahang symbol is not equal symbol, it is the two-tailed test. Pag greater than symbol, ganit siya, it is a one-tailed test, or specifically, it is a right-tailed test. Pag less than symbol naman, it is a one-tailed test, but in specifically, in such a test, it is a left-tailed test. Okay, let's have an example here. So, kani siya na example is na example ni siya ganiha kato pag-state sa null or alternative hypothesis correctly. So, in continuation, let's identify kung unsa siya na tailed. Is it one-tailed or two-tailed? So, in identifying so, we need to focus on our alternative hypothesis and see to it ang iyahang symbol. Since this is not an equal symbol, it just means that this is a two-tailed test. Okay, another example. It is still the same no ganiha. Example dyan po ni ganiha sa pag-state og null alternative hypothesis correctly. So, in continuation to that, in knowing where is kung unsa siya na tailed, right tailed, left tailed, or two tailed ba siya, let's focus again sa ato ang alternative hypothesis. And ato ang tan-awon iyahang symbol. So, since it is a greater than symbol, it is a one-tailed test, but specifically it is what we called the right-tailed test. Okay, basta greater than, this is a right-tailed test. Inanaon lang siya. Okay, let's have here an application. You can actually post the video so that you can answer the following. So the first one, this is actually to identify what parameter to be tested. Number two, it's to formulate the appropriate null and alternative hypothesis in a given problem. Okay, just give your time. I give you time so that you can answer the two problems. You can post a video if you want. Okay, so let's have here number one. No, the television habits of children were observed and found out that the standard deviation is 12 hours per week. Now, our parameter here is the standard deviation, which is 12 hours per week. That is parameter. Now, let's focus to the word standard deviation. So, in parameter, it is the symbol sigma. Okay? The sigma symbol. And our keyword here, the is, or it means equal. And our amount, or it's labeled as 12 hours per week, or simply 12. That is the symbol. Symbol is sigma is equal to 12. Now, number 2, an academic organization claimed that grade 11 students' studies time is at least 240 minutes per day on average. So, our parameter here is simply the word average. Okay, average, which is ang organization nag-claim that ang grade 11 daw, study time is at least 240 minutes per day. Okay, let's highlight the word average, no? Let's encircle this one, average. So in parameter, it's symbolized as the mu, or katong murag m. Mu. Now, since our keyword here is the word at least, so iyahang symbol, it's the symbol greater than or equal to the amount or the time 240 minutes per day. So, mao na siya ang ato ang symbol. Again, symbol, it's the mu greater than or equal to 240. So based on our symbol, we can actually identify already unsa siya na klase na hypothesis. Kung sa null ba siya or sa alternative. So with regards to this problem, ang ato ang claim is on the null hypothesis. This is since the symbol it's greater than or equal to 240 minutes per day. Now, since greater than or equal ni siya, ang iyahang kabaliktaran sa alternative must be less. Done. Okay. So, atong alternative, it's the mu or the average is less than 240 minutes per day. Now, let's identify unsa ka siya na klase na test. One-tailed, two-tailed ba siya? Now, let's focus on our alternative hypothesis and see it to it that iyahang symbol, unsa siya na symbol. So, since this is a less than symbol, it means that it is a one-tailed test, or specifically what we called left-tailed. Okay, basta ganit left-tailed, ang iyang symbol is the less than symbol. Okay? Okay, thank you, CSS and AS student. Thank you for listening, and also don't forget to comment your name into the comment section and write your insight. Or when we say insight, on sa inyong natunan or nasabtan sa discussion. For example, De La Cruz Juan, grade 11 CSS, I learned that if it's a less than symbol, then it is a left-tailed test. That will be all for today. Thank you very much, and I hope you do have learned something for our distance learning. That will be all. Thank you. Bye-bye.